I usually read books for one reason and one reason only. It's because I have a problem that I need to solve and I don't have an answer for that problem. I specifically chose The Richest Man in Babylon because of a couple of reasons. Stay with me. The first reason is I have bad financial management. And when you ask people how to make money, they usually tell you things like you need to save money or you need to invest money. But how, dude? Because I can't even manage my expenses as we speak. I always have anxiety because I'm always asking myself, like, what if I lose my job at the end of the month? Or what if I lose my job anytime? How am I going to handle my expenses? Does this mean that I need to start again? Does this mean I have to move back home and start climbing the financial ladder again? I also have 0% financial literacy background. What do I mean by this? There's people that actually get financial knowledge passed down. So from a kid, they teach you how to budget. Unfortunately, in my scenario, I'm just taught that you need to work, you need to make money, and you need to spend that money, and you just need to look good. And for the last reason, honestly, I do not want to work forever. You see, I want to learn how to make money work for me, but every financial book that I read is just building onto something, but there's no actual foundation. Which brings us to today's video, which is the foundation of financial literacy, the richest man in Babylon. My name is Kelvin and welcome to Bookmarked. If you feel like you're a financial mess or you don't know where to start your financial journey, I got you. The last lesson that I'm going to discuss with you is literally going to break down this book and help you accomplish all of these steps with complete ease. Just a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. But these are the lessons that I've learned from The Richest Man in Babylon. So today I'm going to be discussing my top 5 lessons from The Richest Man in Babylon. Growing up, I was taught that I need to reward myself when I get paid or when I've saved money. So what this means is I need to work for like 30 days or 20 days. And then after that, I have to have a portion of my salary where I'm going to reward myself, where I'm going to say that, no, I'm paying myself because I work hard. But after reading this book, I just realized that I've been misled. You see, George puts this in a very understandable way that amount of money that you believe you are rewarding yourself, you are actually paying somebody else. George advises that you need to save 10% of everything that you earn. Let's break this down. So let us say that you are earning, I don't know, like 1,000 Rand since I am in South Africa. So let's say you're earning 1,000 Rand, which is roughly $60, right? So when it's roughly $60, let's say 10% of this would be, what? That would be 100 Rand, right? So now looking at this 10% concept, on a monthly basis, dude, 100 Rand is not a lot of money, but you can do something with 100 Rand. So basically, I look at this concept on an annual basis. So let's say you've got 100 Rand, you times this 100 Rand by 12, and then it will equal 1,200 Rand, right? So this is the money that you've annually saved, which is going to be like your 10%. So now in this book, he further goes into making your money work for you. And I'm just going to break down this concept. It's going to spill into the next lesson, but I'd just like to cover everything just in the beginning here. So now you've got 1,200, right? 1,200, let's say year end, then you decide to, I don't know, let's say you're a sneakerhead, right? So let's say you sell sneakers and let's say you're able to get a sneaker for 600 Rand. You know, off this 1.2, that means you can buy 2 sneakers. If you mark up your sneakers and you sell your sneakers for, let's say about 1,000 Rand, which is, this is a market price that I've been seeing sneaker redistributors sell at. So now you've got 1,000 times 2. So from your initial 1,200, your the base amount would be 2,000 Rand, right? So you basically made 800 Rand commission on this, and yeah, this is the leftover amount. So what George, or the richest man in Babylon, basically breaks down for us is that this is one income stream, right? So now going to the concept that your money must make babies for you, make it more real for you. So let's say you're going to call this baby here Tabo, right? And then when you call this baby Tabo, let's say this is year 1. So we'll categorize this as year 1. And then let's go to year 2. So you've still got this base amount. Just I don't know if you're gonna buy sneakers again or increase, but you just don't touch your 10% until it gets to an amount where you feel like, I don't know, you can quit your job or whatever, or your investment has grown enough. So now let's go to year two. Let's say year two, we're gonna call this baby Cassidy, right? Year two, let's say by some miracle you get like an increase, right? Or I don't know, maybe you get like a higher allowance. So let's say that now your allowance is 2,000 Rand, right? Because this is for anybody, bro. Like this actually gives you a head start if you did it in high school, which I wish I did this in high school. And then, so now year two, I've got 2,000 plus this 2,000. So this is at the end of year two. Remember, this is 2,000, which if I save 10%, it's going to be 200 per month, which is going to be like 2,400 at the end of year one. With that 2,400, I can do research and get into another market, right? So 2,400, what can 2,400 get me? I don't know. I'm going to go to, I don't know, a factory shop and go buy weaves, right? So 2,400, end of year two, I'm buying, let's say, two weaves, right? Because ladies do pay for their hair. So I buy two weaves, each at the cost price of 1,200, right? I can just package using Canva or whatever you want, bro. And then after that, I can sell this weave for about, I don't know, like, I don't know how much weaves go for, but like maybe, because the markup they do on weaves is actually pretty crazy. So let's say 1,700 per weave, right? 1,700 times two, because you've bought two weaves, that equals something like what? 2,700, 3,500, right? All right, so this is 3,500. So now you have 3,500 commission off of your 10%, right? So now let's say 2,000, 3,500. Let's just make a rough estimate that after here with the 2,000, you decide to buy like 5 more sneakers. Rough estimate, let's say your income at the end of year two is on 4,000 here, and your income here is on, I don't know, let's just play with rough numbers. Let's say 6,000. I'm going to accumulate the values, because it depends if you want to carry on with this hustle and just carry on growing your investment. Obviously, you wouldn't only just buy 2 things if you see something's working. So now you do this over a period of 5 years. So year 3, year 4, year 5, right? And then let's say these babies is Zola, the other one is Joe, the other one is Biden. So there you've got Zola, Joe, and Biden, and you're doing the same thing. So let's say whatever product that you make here, you are gonna have 8,000, you're gonna have 10,000, you're gonna have 12,000, because you need to understand that the amount of money that you get on a yearly basis does increase. And me putting values like this, it could be based on maybe you're taking 10% of these amounts, right? So at the end of 5 years, let's look at it like this. End of 5 years, so now you've got about 10,000, 18,000. What? You've got 10,000, you've got 18,000, you've got 28,000, you've got 40,000. So now what can you do with 40K? So now this is the concept of the 10%. I'm just breaking it down and diluting it as much as possible. So now you've got 40K. With 40K, what do? Let's say you want to get into delivery, bro. Maybe you buy 2 times scooters, right? Now this is going to make you money. And then once you receive your ROI, you're going to start making even more money than you did here. So now that's the concept that he breaks down in The Richest Man in Babylon, of making money work for you. Well, that's how I understood it. He didn't break it down like this, but I just really went crazy in my mind. So the second lesson that I got from this book is something that I actually really enjoyed, because it closed the gaps of only saving the 10%, because I didn't know what to do with the 10%. Like, I save 10%. Some other people tell you that the bank takes your money, whatever. So this making your money multiply, which I actually just later called it the Rebirth System. So this is basically something that we covered in the previous explanation, which was pretty lengthy, but year 1, 1,000 Rand, your 10%, you basically accumulate, you get this. Year 2, you do the same. And then all of these accumulations from the 10% go into a bigger investment, you take 10%, and you just carry on like that. But it's just not only like this, because once you have your overall income, The Richest Man in Babylon still tells us how we can evenly distribute this income. Let's say we have 40,000, then we can evenly distribute that and still be able to carry on our investments and secure our wealth in the future. I've got an action step for you. So as I did in my crazy explanation in the first lesson, I just want you to basically do the exact same thing. So let's go 10%, 10% of whatever you save. It doesn't matter how much it is, but just be honest with yourself, and then after that, save that 10%, times it by 12, see how much you can actually get. Go on the internet, see what you can buy for that price, see how many units of it that you could potentially sell through doing market research, man. It's become so easy on the internet these days. And then after that, you'll just say year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. You will give your money babies different names, whatever names you can give them. Then you can give yourself projections. Reason why I do this is because once you take the step, you're actually making it more achievable and more real with what you can actually do with your money, because you're just calculating it. You've got no substance, you've got no logic backing any decision that you'd make after that. Lesson number 3, which is a very important lesson for me in my life because I've made some errors, but it's doing research and understanding your investments. So I personally had a misconception thinking that an investment is stocks or crypto or Forex, but an investment is actually something that can just yield you a return over a certain period of time. So you knowing the industry that you want to go in, people's buying patterns and how they'd sell, bro, this gives you an edge because now you can have an estimated return on investment and you know how to work through that. Because most of the times we get scammed with investments. People hate the word investments because I come here, I'm like, yo, give me $100, I'll put it in my Luna, I'll give you $10,000. You understand? And then you give that $100 without having knowledge to actually understand that 1,000% return it's not viable in that specific situation. Let me just give you a quick example. 2 years ago, I was part of a scam. Well, yeah, I was a victim of a scam, right? So processing Takealot orders or whatever on your phone. So I took my rent money. After taking my rent money, I blew this money. Basically, you have to process orders, and then the 6,000 rand was gonna come out to be like 24,000, and this was in December. I was like, oh yeah, man, I got this. And then after I deposited the money, the pyramid scheme like collapsed. Almost had a heart attack, but it taught me a very good lesson that you actually need to understand what you're investing in. Because if I really understood what I was investing in, I was gonna know that amount of return is impossible, and I was also gonna know that the company pulling the scam is not part of Takealot. Do you understand? This would have to be, I would have to be able to do research. If I did research, contacted Takealot, these are the steps that you need to take, especially if you're going to be saving 10% of your hard work money, then you want to put it in something that's going to yield you returns. You have to take these necessary steps. Today's action step is I need you to basically go and look at whatever you want to do. Information is available everywhere, dude. Like, the only thing that you need to do is find someone that's doing what you're doing and that is successful at what you're doing, that's posting videos, copy him, duplicate it, and implement the system in your own way. And maybe you'll just do a little bit more research. Shoes. Find a shoe seller that's successful, follow his steps, do a little bit more research, see where you can stock shoes, see how you determine size before ordering. Like, think of all of the scenarios just to kind of like secure your investment so that when you have that $2,400 or when you have that $250, then you are able to actually execute according to your estimated projections. The second last lesson is my favorite lesson because it was one of my revelations during monk mode before even reading this book. So check out my monk mode journey video and you could actually learn and get some insight from that. But coming back to this video, meet the goddess of luck. You see, success is not due to luck, but the habit of seizing opportunity. But how will you seize opportunity if you're not prepared? But how will you seize opportunity if you haven't taken time to align your goals, your visions, how you're going to get there? Dude, how are you going to hit the target? So today I'm going to say, prepare, take action, and seize the opportunity. Today's action step based on this lesson is, I want you to research a couple of people in your niche or people that you actually look up to. Dude, just go over their story, right? There's some influencers that are very open, you know, with how they came up, like your Luke Belmars, and then study where they came from and see where they are. Then you'll start to understand that it's not a coincidence, you know? And through this action step, I feel like you will tune in your mind and get familiar that there is no luck. You actually kind of create luck by being in the right place at the right time while being prepared. And when that small window comes, you completely execute. And the last, most fruitful lesson that we've been waiting for basically just summarizes the entire book and just tells you that here's actionable steps. Once you've got the bag, this is how you allocate the bag. There's been a question in my mind. So if I am saving 10%, does this mean I am blowing 90%? You know what? This question was left unanswered until this was answered in the most beautiful way. All right, so this is how the formula was explained in the book. So let's say you've got 100% of your income, right? Oh no, this thing's not working now. Okay, got 100% of your income. Let's say your income is 1,000 Rand, right? I'm trying to use kind of like the smallest amount just to show you that you can actually save and invest with any amount. Right, so you've got your 10% that we've already discussed. So your 10%, this is your sperm. You know, this is the one that makes babies, right? 10%, this goes to investments, right? So 10% invest, right? And this would be $100. You're left over with $90. So now you take 20%, which is the most important one because you can actually learn quite a lot from this. 20%. So for the 20% that you have here, then you would use this for your debts. There's an important lesson in this book actually about this. So you'd use 20% of your debts. So you need to analyze that there's a lesson in this. If your debts are over 20%, which in this case is what's 20%? In this case would be 200, right? This means you can only afford 200 Rand of debt. You getting yourself deeper into debt over 200 is you living above your means. And if you live above your means, bro, you are always going to be a slave. And that's what we're not trying to do. You understand? So you need to be able to have discipline and know that, oh, this is the amount that I need to have for debt. So if you want to have a gym membership and you want to have a phone contract, gym membership is 200, phone contract is 400. You don't afford the phone, bro. So you got to be honest with yourself and use what you have. Do you understand? So now you've got 70% left. So the 70% that you have left is for your rent. Okay. Yeah, this is for your rent. It's for your food. It's for leisure, whatever you want to use it for, right? So 70%, that's your 700. So now this is 100% of your amount. So I think this is a beautiful way to think about it because just the lesson from the 20% has actually moved me to a different level because now I'm able to calculate what I can afford and what I cannot afford. I don't know. Most people could have known this, but after this book, I really didn't know any of this. Today's action step, right? I want you to look at your monthly income and your expenses like this. This is just like a simple formula. Focus on the 20%, you know, just list all of your debts. Let's say car, dog, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, whatever you consider as an expense, right? And then see if your expenses amount to 20%. So no, let's take out the car and the rent and the dog. That's some dumb ones. But let's say clothing accounts, right? Clothing accounts. I took those out because those I'll actually put under the 70% for your household needs. You've got your clothing accounts. I don't know. You borrow, like you have your phone, and then you have, I don't know. People have crazy weird debts, right? These need to amount to 20%. If they don't amount to 20% and they amount to 60%, then you know what's wrong, bro. Then you know that clearly some of your priorities aren't really fixed on straight, you know? So you just need to sit down and see what you really need and what you can afford, because There's that conversation that we don't have with ourselves. We want things that we can't afford because we say that we work hard, but can you really afford it? And just through this action step, I want you to be completely honest with yourself, because if you want your 20% to be 2,000, right? This is going to create a motivator for your 10% and your motivator for growing your 10%, which is your different stream of income, so that you can grow your net worth, so that you're able to have a 20% that you can use on debt or weird things like that. Yeah? The gems in this book are unlimited. I just hope that you got something from everything that I explained to you. But I did upload an audiobook by yours truly. Please check it out. Trust me, I would never recommend something that is not good for you. It's something that really did a lot for me, and I feel like you need to check it out too. While you're still here, you can actually check out my monk mode journey. I took a 30-day monk mode journey where I was just learning how to listen to my mind and listen to myself. I abstained from quite a lot of things, and it really did help me. Maybe that's a journey that you would want to go on in the near future. But nevertheless, thank you so much for viewing this video. Let us grow, man. And our next book is, who knows? You just have to stay tuned.